Hello, everyone. My name is Michael, and I'm from Braiden Consulting. Today, I have a very special guest. I'm honored to introduce Maria Butina. Hello, how are you doing, Maria?
I'm doing quite well. So welcome from the mother Russia, and this is my Duma office. So it
Oh,
looks
wow.
like, well, a fairy tale, but it's actually true.
Looks really impressive. Looks like you're in some sort of a cave or something like this. Looks really great. Okay, so we've got a few questions. Maybe we could discuss and highlight important aspects of moving to Russia, of course. And let me just start from the very beginning with my question. So, Maria, could you please tell us about current situation with citizens of unfriendly countries who are moving to Russia right now? I mean, for example, how many people move here every month? So from your own experience, I thought that like top countries, unfriendly countries from where people relocate are Germany, France, maybe US. So can you please update us? So what about now?
Well, yeah, actually, each month we try to measure and to see the statistics, how many people come, from where they come. And so here are the numbers. So each month we see about 150 to 200 people moving to Russia. So it's people who are maybe becoming in the future Russian citizens, or they just stay with their temporary residence. This is up to them, or just get the residency. They bring families. It's typically a family move. And the countries are, you're right, it's Germany and France in the first place. Well, they compete. So each month they compete. So sometimes it's Germany on the first, and then French people come more next month. So it depends. Then we see the stable move from the United States. After that, believe it or not, people from Australia also move to Russia. And the fifth place belongs to Italy. I think this is because of their family values and so many things that they like in Russia. Well, for instance, this is the freedom of religion and the fact that Russia is very traditional and conservative. So you will never see here LGBT in the church. For many people, this is one of the biggest reasons to move it. It's actually to save the family and save the kids.
Well, yeah, sounds really impressive. You are the head of non-profit organization. Welcome to Russia, and I'm sure that a large number of people constantly ask for your help for feedback, right? So many questions, right? Of course, when we're talking about relocation of the whole family with kids, there are certain questions that may arise, obviously. So, with your experience, what are the main difficulties that foreign citizens from unfriendly countries face when they are about to move to Russia?
Well, here's my suggestion to everybody who decides to move to Russia. Actually hire a lawyer. That's number one. Can you make the documents by yourself? Absolutely, yes. But it's going to be difficult and time consuming, sorry. When I moved to the United States to study, I had an immigration lawyer from Alaska, and she helped me to do all my stuff, including my OPT program when I wanted to not just study but work in Russia. So typically,
Yeah.
you should have a lawyer and stay with one, especially if you have a big family. It's not difficult to make all the documents, and we're working, me as a lawmaker, with the bureaucracy issues, but it's always nice to just be focused on your future life and being excited about your future life in Russia instead of thinking how to fill the form. The
Oh
forms are
yeah.
difficult in every single country. So this is number one. Number two, what issues do people have? Oh, well, number two, they don't know where to go because Russia is
Hmm.
huge. Well, the biggest country in the world is still us. It's going to be us in the future. So, if you don't know where you would like to be, I would suggest to come to make to apply for a touristic visa. Typically, a father comes, sometimes without kids and a wife, just to see where they're supposed to live. So here are the options. You can live by a seashore. You can choose mountains. You can choose colder, warmer like Sochi. You can choose any place you'd like next to the ocean. It's up to you. So number two is, kind of people have issues with choosing where they would like to go because there are so many nice options. Then apartment. Your apartment, you need to make the registration, which means you need to register to a certain place, and I would do it in advance. So talk to your future landlord, and you should absolutely state that you need to register. It's not hard to do, but some landlords they resist doing this. You will not make them to do it because it's free will. It's up to your agreement. So I would suggest this is the next one. Well, bring in money. Well, there are people and companies who actually will help you to handle this issue. Yes, this is absolutely possible. Well, but you should think in advance, of course, and also to be kind of fine, especially if you bring family, see the surroundings of your future apartment. So the school, the kindergarten, the nice parks and the places you like to go, and contact the school in advance because if you would like your child to study in the school. You can do homeschooling, which is fine, but if you'd like to be in the school, you will need to pass Russian language. Not super difficult, but it's a requirement of the Russian law. So you should think about all these issues. That's why I would suggest so you don't actually handle the document stuff. But it's up to each family how to handle their paperwork. Sometimes we get certain requests and questions from people who ask how to do this and do that and where to go. Of course, the volunteers of the Welcome to Russia group would love to help you and assist you, but they will not make documents for you. That's why my best recommendation is to think in advance. Typically, people plan their move in about half a year before they move, or sometimes a year or so, and think about your employment. So contact people in Russia you would like to work for, or find a way to talk to your employer in your native country to work remotely. There is an option for many people who move to Russia and they just do it so they don't lose their job and they can work abroad via internet.
Yes, Maria, totally agree here. And also, I just would like to share with my personal experience. Actually, lawyers will help, like Braiden Consulting, for instance. I used to study in the Netherlands. I obtained my master's degree there in European law. And then after my studies, I was like, okay, I would like to open a cafe here to start our own family business. And we just wanted to, make some, Russian slash Dutch cuisine in The Hague. And I was like, okay, hey, I'm a lawyer. I will do everything by myself. So yeah, everything went smooth. So the consideration period, by the way, in the Netherlands is 6 months, not like here. Here, the consideration period is 4 months, or even faster. Migration authorities right now in Russia try to issue temporary residence permit as soon as possible. Let's say 3 months or so. So we've been waiting for like 8 months and 3 weeks. My daughter was born there, and so each morning I was like checking the mailbox to get the outcome, to get the result, and the idea is that I was refused because of the technical errors. That's where lawyers can help you, and of course I totally agree here that 100% you can do everything by yourself, but we would recommend to hire lawyers for this. And also about the second point that you've mentioned about geography. That's right. Russia is the biggest country in the world. For instance, we have a really nice, couple of families. They're also from the Netherlands, and they decided to move to Vladikavkaz. I mean, mountains, nature. This is all about our, it's all about Russia, and their experience is just, brilliant. And that's why maybe, and that's a good idea, just first to make a visit, having a tourist visa, to look around, to see, different regions of Russia. Because when we're talking about temporary residence permit, the nature of this residency is that it's issued for a certain region. So that means that your base, for at least for the first 3 years, would be that exact region. And that's why this is very important. All right, let's move forward, right? Since you are a State Duma deputy, I would like to ask, and I think this is the hot topic here, about some new laws, some new regulations that are planned, maybe in relation to foreign citizens from unfriendly countries, maybe some changes with the 702 decree. So maybe you have some information, some news that would be really, really interesting.
702 decree that simplifies the process of immigration to Russia. So one who gets the visa 702, this is a presidential visa on spiritual values. He or she can move and get their RVP, which means the temporary residence right away, which I view is quite a nice thing. So it does not need any changes, but what does need changes, we probably should have a special program for people who come from abroad, especially from unfriendly countries. We have certain programs for compatriots today, and people who are not ours by blood, but ours by spirit and soul, probably should get certain preferences. For instance, on the custom control, they should get, we should take it easy on how much stuff they bring with them, because they bring their own belongings. Same with a car, so they could re-register car free or for a little, the penny paid. Today, this is quite expensive. So we also see issues. This is my initiative for kids, so that they can go to any museums and any galleries and any concerts and dancing and everything for free. We call what is Pushkin's card. It's for our teenagers, so I offered our government to include the kids who come on 702 with the parents as well, so they can actually study Russia. I think this is a good idea also. And from, let's say, the biggest issues that were discussed today was the Russian classes, because people face difficulties in finding teachers and issues like this. There should be probably some companies, but meanwhile, I would suggest, let's say, I know that Braiden has very nice classes in Russian language. So just to start and to get a flavor, I would suggest to do it, because I share the post of Braiden and I know how good are the classes. So I would actually suggest to do so, just to try yourself in Russian language. But again, if you're not confident and if you worry about your kids, you just do homeschooling. And once you're proficient enough in in Russian, you can go to a normal school and study. That's up to you.
Totally, yes, of course. And also, if you consider living in Russia, right? So we're talking about relocation, right? So you live here. I'm a big fan of 702 decree, because this decree works really well. That gives this decree gives the opportunity to relocate to Russia and live here for at least 3 years. Because after 8 months, after 1 year of holding this temporary residence permit, a foreign citizen can apply for venture, for a permanent residence permit, and there you have to pass the Russian language, history, and legislation exam. So you will have this, time just to socialize here, right, and learn your Russian language, which is essential if you want to live here, if you want to be the part of our culture. And yeah, as you mentioned, that we provide free Russian classes, because this is very important for those families, especially that are about to move here. And I've just mentioned that I really actually love 702 decree, because previously that was really complicated. Winning a quota, then applying for the temporary residence permit. All right, but you have to also pass the Russian language history and legislation exam. But this Decree 702 gives you the opportunity to, to live like a Russian. And then while you're here, you can learn Russian language, pass the exam, and then get the VNG, the permanent residence permit. However, let's step aside a little bit, and may I ask you about another legal ground as an investment, right? So, of course, we are interested to people that come here, basically to play a role in a Russian, not only culture, but also maybe in business environment, right? And we have a certain legal ground for investment, right? So let's say we made a survey in our Telegram channel about that. So the question was, if you don't need to pass Russian language, history, and legislation exam for the investment legal ground, will you apply for it or not? 60% said yes. Because I'm asking this question, because if you're about to, let's say, buy a property here for a certain amount, then you can apply for the permanent residence permit after 1 year. And one of the needed documents is the certificate of passing Russian language, history, and legislation exam. So, so my question is, what do you think about this particular point? Maybe there will be some changes in the legislation that would make it a little bit easier. Because I think that if a person is an investor and he or she is about to buy a certain property or buy shares, then this point with passing the exam may be an obstacle. So what do you think about
Well, actually, originally, you and Braiden brought my attention to the investment issue, and the fact that an investor who pays money in and invests in Russian economy should pass the language test is kind of quite strange for me. I didn't know it exists, but now studying more and more our immigration law, I see the problem, and I see that there is a huge interest to Russia to actually invest and buy apartments here, start new businesses, buy shares in businesses, and all these issues. So yeah, I support this initiative, and it will not happen fast, so we just cancel it tomorrow. It will take certain time, but I believe we are on a pipeline to the success actually. So thank you very much that at some point you showed me the result of your survey. And so I understood that there are really people who want to come to Russia as investors, but they have language issues. So if you eliminate language issues, we will have more investors. Happy economy. That's good.
Sounds good. Sounds really, really positive, like a positive news. Yeah, sounds really great. Maria, I just want to thank you for for answering these questions. I mean, this is very important. I think because right now we're somewhere in this moment is very important. I think that we can finally attract people who share our traditional values. They want to raise their kids here, and when you just Google like moving to Russia, right, or relocation, you may see different information, which is a little bit messy. And I think our mutual, cooperation, the result is to give people, clear information on how you can do it and actually, build your life here, raise your kids, and just be the part of our country.
Well, to finalize our conversation, I would say just one thing. Welcome to Russia.
Yeah, indeed. Welcome to Russia. Thank you so much, Maria, for being here, and stay tuned. Please join Welcome to Russia channel. This is an awesome source of information. People, chat there, learn about Russia, about everything, and we'll be also happy to participate in the, with the legal stuff. Thank you so much for being here.